What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes of your time here with me today. Today, I wanted to go over with you the trade I took on the NASDAQ, all right, today, which is Wednesday. This was a really cool trade to take because while I was in the trade, I saw Stacy post this exact same trade, right? And I love it when that happens. I love it when I get in a trade and then later see Stacy cover it in a YouTube video or a community post on YouTube or whatever, right? That just lets me know I'm looking for the right things. I'm looking in the right places for those things, right? I've trained my eyes, I've trained my mind. Okay. I love it when that happens. So, congratulations to any trader who took this trade today alongside me and Stacy. Okay. So, let's get right into it. Here we're looking at the daily charts for the NASDAQ. All right. This can help us in a lot of ways to let us know where we're at according to the higher time frames. That way, when we zoom in on our lower time frames, we know what type of setups we're trying to get into. Are we looking for buy low situations? Or are we looking for sell high scenarios on the day? Okay. So looking at this chart, you can see that we had that massive sell off on Friday. Okay. The next 5 or 6 days are happening inside of that Friday's high and low range. Okay. We have not broke out of that Friday's range, not until yesterday, Tuesday. You can see right here that we've just barely broken out of that high. All right. But since we broke that level, we now have potentially triggered higher time frame traders into this market. All right. Higher time frame traders are potentially driving this move. So when I got in last Friday, right, and I shorted this market before we broke one of those levels, it didn't work out. Okay. But then we broke the levels yesterday. I took the trade today and the trade worked. So we're going to take sort of a look at that, but that's very important. It's important to look at these potential trades and ask yourself, what would Stacy do? You know what I'm saying? Sort of like, what would Jesus do? What would Stacy do? If Stacy was looking at this chart, does Stacy have a setup? Would you catch Stacy trading this trade? Okay. You know what I mean? So I'm glad here we can see that we broke out. Also, you can see that that day closed as a red day. So it's potentially a first red day signal day. Now, here we're looking at the 15-minute chart, and I'm just trying to point something out to you. I'm trying to point out this basic template. Okay. We have one day up, then a day sideways, and then a day down. We will see this pattern also if you're taking like a session scalp, right? So when New York opens, we might have an hour up, then an hour sideways, and then an hour down. We could have a week up, a week sideways, and then a week down. All right. But this is our pump, coil, and dump. You can see that, right? Pump, coil, and dump. Okay. A very nice pump and dump opportunity on the week, okay, on a day three. So you can see that here. Here's our high of the previous week. That's that high of Friday and Thursday. This is also the high of the current month of October. Okay. So we did break out of that level and then give a lower close than the open on that day. Now, even though we did break that level, okay, we just barely pipped through it. I might still consider this an inside day because it's just such a narrow range, right? Such a narrow range. We barely went through right here. So I might consider that an inside day. But either way, we got a potential first red day signal day. Now, just because we got the first red day signal day does not mean we are going to automatically short the market the next day. We want to see certain things happen, okay, before we short this market. Here on this 5 minute chart, I'm trying to show you specifically our peak formation high, peak formation low, and then our consolidation. All right. And most of our trades are going to come out of or shortly after that period of consolidation. All right. That's the market coiling sideways, accumulating orders, getting ready to explode in one direction or the other. Okay. So you can see we had our peak formation high in Asia, peak formation low in New York. You could, I guess, technically, you might try to run with a peak formation low here and a peak formation high here, but I like to do them in separate sessions. So peak formation high, peak formation low, we pull back right here and then start trading lower, right? So that's why my consolidation is marked off starting with that point, okay? We come all the way down here before we start trading higher again. So that's the bottom of that consolidation. And you can see the market just plays around in between those two levels, okay? That's what a consolidation is, right? When we stay in between those two levels, that's our rectangle, our box that price is working within, okay? Now, if we zoom in, you can see just before 8 o'clock, we actually break out of that consolidation, however slight it may be. Okay. We still break out of that consolidation. That might not be enough for us to trade this. Okay. First off, it's not in our session window. All right. And we didn't really break out of that with force. Okay. There's no displacement of price or anything like that. So we might want to wait for a little heavier confirmation, you could say. All right. So either way, we break out, pull back, okay? Then going into 9:30, we spike down and truly break out of that consolidation to the downside. And when that happens, that's sort of like the market showing its hand in a certain regard, okay? Showing us perhaps the true intention of the market, where the market would like to go, okay? We're going lower. We have this sort of peak formation high in London. Perhaps this is the high of the day being locked in place. Okay. And then we start making new lows. So the low of the day has not been locked in place yet, meaning we might continue to go lower if we get the right sort of price action. Okay. So we finally break out right here at 9:30. Then we pull back. Okay. And you can see that just before the session opens, we have this low and this high. That's our most recent high and our most recent low. Now, are we working the high or are we working the low here? Right? We're trading back up here. We're working into that high. Still at 9:30. Even though it breaks down, then we come right back up here, working into that high. Okay. We get, a good solid couple of pushes up into that level before engulfing and moving down lower, right? This is our lower low on the inside for this trade, right? Set up for the pump and dump. This lower low on the inside, right? Even though we have broken the current day's low, this is the new low of the day when it happens, right? When we zoom out, we know we are still inside of this range right here, okay? So that's our lower low on the inside of this range. So we get that lower low, pump back up. Now let's take a close look at this happening, right? This was 9:30 right here. So just before 9:30, the market starts to pump down. We spike to the downside, break out of that consolidation level. Okay. Pull back. You can see our three pushes up there at 10:01. When we zoom in, you can see on this 1 minute chart, we have this pin hammer here. We got a pin right here, a pin right here. All right. And I just wasn't looking at the charts precisely at this moment, or I might have tried to enter once we got that big engulfment. All right. But right here, around 10:06, 10:07, something like that, we get this engulfment. That's where I secured my entry. I had a 25 pip stop loss at those structural highs. All right. And for this trade, I did not technically have a target. All right. Normally, this lower low would be our target. But since I was going to be sitting here monitoring this trade, I decided to manually close the trade. So I was going to be watching. So I did not have a target take profit order put in right from the get-go. All right. However, what I did use that lower low for was that once we broke that level, there I moved my stop loss to break even. All right. So bam, we break this level right here. Boom. My stop loss is at break even. Once we got down here and I'm up just about 200 pips, okay, because uh I believe I closed out at one of these green candles right here. Um, Once we started nearing that, I was thinking of shutting this trade down. So what did I do? I took 90% of my position. I took 90% of the profits off the table. Okay. I'm already at break even, so I've got nothing to worry about. I'm not losing money however it goes from this point on. Okay. So I left that last little bit of money on the table, let it run. I came back later because I saw Stacy post this exact same trade. So I went to go check on it. And we were right back around where we were when I first closed that 90%. So I just shut it down again, secured my profit, shut it down, went on about my day. Okay. I had the morning off with my wife. So, her and I spent some time together, went out to get lunch, you know what I'm saying? Went and picked up the kids, all that stuff. So I got to spend some time with her because all of my trading was done in a single hour. Okay. Less than that. Y'all know me if you're in the Discord, bro. Sometimes I'm not waking up until 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I like my sleep. I gotta get it because I don't sleep well at night. So it's hard on me. So all of my trading takes place within a single hour or a 30-minute timing window. All right. And that's all you really need to start making this work. Okay. Concentrate your efforts where and when they really matter. Okay. So I hope that this video makes sense. I'm a little all over the place today with my thoughts, but I wanted to get this video out there to you. I appreciate all the support, man, that the channel's been getting here on YouTube. Also, the Discord. We've got a lot of people in the Discord, bro. I was surprised when I checked how many people are in there. I was like, damn, that's a lot of people, bro. Sometimes we got like over 10 people in there for the session. You know what I mean? That's really cool. So I appreciate y'all being there, man. I'm glad that you're here with me today. Anyway, man, until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.